Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. We are still on a basic music theory. This is class 7. We'll be talking about chord inversions. Chord inversions. Okay, so now in chord inversions, what are chord inversions? So now look at those basic chords. What if we were to play those same chords but switch up the order of the notes? So chord inversion is really all about we have a chord and we switch the order of the notes. Alright, we take the note to another place but still the same notes and the same chords. Alright, so an inversion is just switching the order of the members of a chord. How do you invert a chord? Because it's called inversion. How do you invert a chord? You invert a chord by taking the first letter and move it to the end, depending on how many notes there are in the chord. Alright, so this can there can be many inversion. Alright, so let's look at what we are talking about or what we mean by inverting a chord, inverting a note in a chord. Now let's take on the key of C. Don't forget that on this basic music theory we will be centering our learning on the key of C. So let's run our scale on the key of C. Alright, so this is the key of C. Now we learned about chords on the key of C, right? Alright, now we say that chord inversion is simply all about switching the notes in a particular chord, either a major chord, a minor chord, a dominant chord, or an augmented chord. These are major chord, a minor chord, a major chord, a dominant chord. When you are playing 3 notes, it's a major, or you're playing 4 notes, it's a dominant. Don't forget a minor, then diminish, and back to our major. So now, how do we invert a chord? So now we have a key of C. We have a chord of C. Chord C. How do we invert chord C? We simply said by taking the last note, we put it to the end over here. Okay, so that's what inversion means. Inversion means playing the same thing but from another position. So the C that we have here, we come and play the C here. So we no longer play the C from here, we play it from here. So the chord becomes like this. You see, it's still the same thing. What we have here is still the same thing, only that we leave the C and we play it higher here. Alright, so that's what inversion means. So a triad chord has 2 inversions. This is the normal root. This is the first inversion. And then how do we get the second inversion? The second inversion is really all about taking the inversion itself. The concept or the principle of inversion is really all about always taking your last note to the top. So if this is my 1, 2, 3, it's still the same thing as 1, 2, 3. So the inversion of this one is this one. So the more we invert, the more we are going higher on the keyboard. So this is where we started from. We leave this C, we brought this C to the top. We have first inversion. We take this E to the top. We have second inversion. So now after having the second inversion, if we take the G to the top, you see, we are back to our C chord, which is exactly the same thing we played here. Back to our C chord. So we actually have 2 inversion. This one, we don't call it first inversion because this is the normal root chord, the normal way of we playing it. So our inversion starts when we start inverting a note, taking it up. That's inversion 1. We invert this one up. We put it there. We have inversion 2. Okay, on the chord fingering will be given on our next class on how we can voice these inversions with our fingers, and also too how we can play our extensions with our finger. So on our next class we'll be talking about chord fingers, scale fingering, and all of that. So now I want us to master our inversion. So on the C we have this inversion. we invert it, we take the C up. So that is what inversion is all about. Now you notice that they are the same tone, the chords are the same, only that this one sounds a little bit lighter than this one. So I will encourage us that as we are playing this chord, either be humming the chord so that you know how this one will sound. So and then the last one we have, then we are back to our normal C. Now, why do we need to learn inversion, or why is inversion very, very necessary for us to know, master, and be using in our playing? Now, in the context of songs, there are some songs that will really suit very well if you play the inversion, the inverted chord, or the inversion of the chord. Like for instance, let's take a song. I love the man of Galilee. Let's assume you're on a 5. For he has done so very much for me. Now look at now. What I'm playing here is inversion of this. Why? Because after playing my 5 chord here, which is I played a major, not a dominant for now. I played a major 5. Now for me to go back to the 1, remember I said 5 always draws us to the 1. So for me to go to the 1, I didn't just jump my hand down here. So from my 5 here, I know that I have inversion of 1, which can start from the 3, 5, and the 1. So from here, I brought back the 1 chord, but to this inversion. Why did I do that? Because it helps in what we call voicing transitions. Voicing transition. So if you notice, I just remove my hand, put here, remove my hand from here, then still leave this one, then brought here. So I just have here, this note remain the same, only these 2 note changes to this one and this one. Can you see now? So we have so you see how the chords resolve very, very smooth. So this is what inversion too can do. Inversion can help to connect chords that are close by. So inversion can help you move from one chord to another chord without jumping your hand from one place to the other. Because if there was no inversion, we would have just jumped our hand from here to here. But because we have inversion of C, which is our first inversion, we can just play from here, then we resolve to here. So that's one good thing inversion is all about. So now that we have learned what inversion is all about, let's go ahead to create the inversion in all the chords that we have on our C major scale. So now we've just created the inversion of this. So the inversion of C is this. After our root, we play our 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. So we will not be calling these ones by extensions. We'll be calling them by octaves. Octave means that they begin by 1, they begin by 2, by 3. If we are to call them by extension, this will be 8, 9, 10. Alright, so let's take note of that. So these are our chords. First inversion is 3, 5, 1. I will encourage you to write it down so that you go back to visit it and you study it and you practice it. So the second inversion is 5, 1, 3. 5, 1, 3, and then we are back to our normal chord. Our normal chord 3, 5, 1, first inversion, 5, 1, 3, second inversion, then we are back to our chord. Let's do that on our 2 chord, which is our minor chord. Our 2 chord. This is our normal 2 chord that we learned on how to form. Now for us to do that, we will move the root note, which is a 2, upward. Alright, this is it. So it's going to be now. So this is our first inversion of this chord because we just moved this note here without changing this one. So it is now there. So we have our first inversion here, which is the 4, 6, 2. 4, 6, 2, because this is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, then this is 1, 2. If you have to start counting from 1 again from the higher octave. Alright, so this 4, 6, 2. So this is our first inversion. Now for us to get our second inversion, like I said, we have 2 inversions on a triad, in a triad. For us to get our second inversion, we move the root. Don't forget. Now this is not actually the root, but this is where the chord is now starting from, because we lost the root to we took the root to the higher octave. Alright, so we now have the note starting here, which is our F, which is the 4. So for us to get our second inversion of our 2 chord, so we take the F or the 4 higher. So this is the F here or the 4. Don't forget the white note before the 3 black notes. The white note before the 3 black notes. So we take there and we bring it here. So we have this one. So what we have here is the same thing as here, is the same thing as here, only that how they are voiced are different. So that's what we call inversion. So we have the 2, we invert it, second inversion, and then back, we are back to our 2. So 2, invert, invert, 2, invert, invert, 2, invert, invert. So we can keep on going doing that on the keyboard, and then we resolve back to our 1. All right, so we have done that. We have formed inversion on 1, then back to the 1. We form it on the 2 now. We just did. So now let's form it on the 3. So this is our 3 chord, which is our minor chord 2 as well. So for us to do that, we move the 3 and count 1, 2, 3. Remember, we are starting from a fresh octave to locate our 3 now. 1, 2, 3. Why are we moving the 3? Because this is the root. We move it, so we now have the 3 here. So we leave this one and we play this note and the 3 here. So this is exactly the same thing as the 3. You really need to know your inversion so that you will be able to express yourself on the keyboard and also make your playing sound nice. Alright, so this is our first inversion of the 3. Now for us to get a second inversion, don't forget the rule or the concept is moving your thumb to the next one. So this is our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our 5. So we will have this one. So this is our second inversion on our chord 3, and then we are back to our chord 3. So this is our chord 3, inversion. Sorry, yes, inversion, first inversion, second inversion. Then we are back to chord 3. Now let's form on our chord 4 and 5. Then you will form on your 6 and your 7. Our chord 4, this is our chord 4, which is a major chord. So for us to form, we take the 4 upward. So we have the 4 upward here. So that's our first inversion. For us to get our second inversion of this 4, we take the 6, which is now standing as the root, we take it upward. So we have the 6 here. So this is our second inversion on our chord 4. So our chord 4 is this, first inversion, second inversion, back to our chord 4. If you notice, they sound the same thing, only that they have different voicing. Alright, so I will encourage us to practice this on all the octaves on the keyboard so that you get used to it. So alright, so we can do the same thing with our chord 5. This is our chord 5. So we take the root, we take it to the 5 higher. So we now have from here, this is our first inversion, and then we take this one, which is the 7 of our 5, which is the root. Now we take it to, we locate the 7. This is the 7. So we have the second inversion, and then we back to our normal roots. So this our root chord, first inversion, second inversion, back to our root chord. So and then first inversion, second inversion, back to our root chord, first inversion, second inversion, back to our root chord. Like that, we do the same thing for our 6th chord, which is our minor chord. We take the root, we put it on. This is our 6, we put it here. So we now have first inversion, we take this one, we put it here. This is our second inversion, then back to our root chord. So we on our 6th chord, we have 6th chord, first inversion, second inversion, then back to our root chord, which is our 6 minor 6. So keep on doing like that. So now let's do our 7th chord. This is our 7th chord, which is the 7 roots. This 7th chord, for us to play our first inversion, we take the 7, we put it here, because this is a 7. So we have our first inversion, we take this one, we put it here. This is our second inversion, then back to our 7th chord. So I want you to practice each chord with their inversion, till you become very good with it. Just take a particular chord make sure you practice all their inversion, and you'll be changing speed. Start slowly, and then when you are used to it, you can now increase your speed. That is what I want you to do. So you see, it now is now giving beauty to our playing. You can see there are some songs that can even start like this. All right, so when you do that, when you're through with that, you come to your 2 chord. You do the same thing with your 2 chord. Make sure you get used to the chords without making mistake. Then you come to your 3. You do the same thing on your 3. Okay, you do the same thing on your 3. Keep on doing it till you get used to it. If you make mistake, it's okay. You stop, continue slowly, and then you progress with the speed. Let's go with the 4. Don't forget, this was what we created. So get a book and a biro. Write down this chord and their inversion. A 5 as a major, not as a dominant. So we will also be learning inversion on our extensions, but not in this class. That will be when we've entered advanced class. On a 6. This one sounds like this Champions League team. So exactly what I did was just I was just changing the inversion of our 6th chord, which is our minor chord, La chord, right? So, and it's sounding like the team of the Champions League. I'm now playing. So what I'm doing, I'm playing my 6th chord, then I'm playing my 5 chord with their inversion, 6 chord with their inversion, then 5 chord with their inversion. Okay, so that will be part of your exercise in this class. So 5, 4, 3, 2, so you can look at my fingering that I'm using to do. For now, let's just look at my fingering I'm using. I'm playing there 1 3 5, then 1 2 5, 1 3 5, 1 2 5, 1 3 5, 1 2 5. So that's what I'm doing. I'm changing from my 1 3 5 to 1 2 5, then back to 1 3 5, then 1 2 5, 1 3 5. Just be changing between 1 3 5 and 1 3 5, 1 3 5 and 1 2 5. So now this is our diminished chord. Don't forget we learned our diminished chord too. Alright, so then you back to our C. Okay, we're back to our 6 because we started from the 6. So after the 7. So you can see that we just in inversion, we are already playing a song. So this is an exercise I'm giving you to do. Come to the T. Now, after doing that, we are now going to learn these our inversions as a broken chord. What do we mean by as a broken chord? We'll play it like this. You keep on doing it till you get to the last of your last octave. So, and now C, root note, then inversion, root, inversion, second inversion, root, inversion, second. Alright, so you do it backward too. Okay, so we play it forward, descending. We play it descending. We do it for the 2 too. So make sure, don't give up, make sure you get it. See, it's even been a while I did this practice, so you see, I am making mistake. Do it for the 3. So these are other exercise I'm giving you. Do it for the 4. Alright, so we keep on doing that as a second exercise. Alright, so this is what, if you notice, we have not really been making use of our left hand. Don't worry, when we want to start learning our chord fingering, we will incorporate our left hand and then we'll balance everything up. Don't forget, we are still on a basic music theory. There are things we really need to know so that when we now want to start putting our hands on the keyboard properly, we will all understand what we are doing. So I want you to practice this out. Go practice this, and also to please, I want you to do this practice exercise so that you get used to your inversions. So we have come to the end of chord inversions. These are what inversions are really all about. Okay, these are what inversions are really all about. All right, so I want you to go practice this inversion. Let me give you one exercise, one last exercise. I gave you 2 exercises. Let me give you one last exercise. What I want you to do is, when you play your roots, so we want to be playing inversion. So you play your C chord, you play the inversion of your 2, first inversion of your 2. You play your root, inversion of this, your root, inversion of this, your root, inversion of this. This is what I mean, your root. Now for us to play the inversion of this, not that this is the root of this, but we are going to play inversion of this. So we play this, we play the inversion of this. So we'll play this inversion, all right, of this. Don't forget, these are 2. So what I'm doing, I'm playing the second inversion of this, which is from here. Don't this is it, right? First inversion, second inversion. So I'm playing the second inversion. So the second inversion, if I'm playing my root of C, I want to play the second inversion of this, I can play it like this. All right, so I want us to be changing. Then 3. All right, 1, second inversion of 2, then 3, second inversion of 4. Right, like that. That's what I want us to do. 5, second inversion of 6, like that. Keep on practicing it like that. Second inversion of 3, and then back to our 1. So all right, all right, then so we keep on practicing it like that. So I want you to be creative with your chord inversion. Try out different things that you can do. Try out different things. All right, so try out inversion. I'm just giving you an idea. All right, see you in our next class. So in our next class, we will go into what we call chord fingering exercise, both for our major scale fingering and our chord fingering. I want you to stay tuned because this is actually where this music really starts now. All right, see you in class. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification button, and also share this video so that when we post new ones that are coming up, we have tons of videos in this channel that we will be learning. So kindly share it. This is your one-stop channel for learning your piano from the scratch. Thank you and see you in class.